Hi, Jean. Thank you for coming today.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm so thrilled to be here.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
You are such a lovely person.
You are the same. Good friend. Good friend. Good friend. Okay, so.
Okay. You have a lot of wisdom, and I learn a lot from you. I'm so glad that you're my friend. I genuinely say that. There are stories that we young generations needs to listen more carefully and more lovingly and more attentively so that we can relate to another soul's experience, not because that soul is at a different age, but also because that soul is a soul like us and we have so much things in common. And I love your soul. And I love your stories, and I love your resilience. I love the fact that you kept up with your uniqueness in your story, such that you found a new way for yourself to re-listen to that story again. How old were you?
I was early to middle 30s, I think.
Early middle 30s.
Yeah.
How did you hear about Islam and why Islam?
Well, it had been in the news sometimes it was in the news sometimes. And then I had a very good Egyptian friend, my dear friend Medhat, who has since left this world. And and one day we were just talking like we always talk, and he said, "Did you ever read the Quran?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I read part of it in school, in college, but so I guess I did." And he said, "And what did you think of it?" And I said, "Well, for sure it's written differently than the Bible was. I was raised as a Christian, so I said, yeah, it's written in a different manner, but it was, I think what I was so impressed with was that our prophet, peace be upon him, Muhammad, was, it was his story as well. And so like I was interested in that, but and then when the class was over, it was over, and I just thought, well, it was an experience. I'm not sorry I read it. I'm not sorry that I listened, but it was just, an experience that I had in school. And then as time went on, he said, "If I give you a Quran, will you read all of it?" And I said, "Absolutely." And I read the Quran in 2 nights. And I stayed up and I read it in 2 nights. And that really began my thinking about it in a way that I had never considered the Bible, in that it was another way to view a religion that is very big in the rest of the world. And I was interested in that the things that it said. So that in turn made me really look at Christianity, and I started to read things about it and to look for things about it that I had never thought of before. In other words, I was looking for the origin of it. And so I wanted to see, because as I found out that things had been changed in the Bible. So I went to 3 different libraries, and I wanted to see what they had removed from it. So my dad was a wonderful reader. He had a very extensive library. And so I started to think, I couldn't really find what I was looking for. And I went upstairs. He had bookshelves built upstairs in our house in Guilford. And so I went upstairs and I was looking for something that would help me to see what they removed from the Bible. And sure enough, there was a very thick book called the Apocrypha of the Catholic Church, what they removed from it. And so I was amazed that whole Gospels were taken out. Also, little books, little stories about Christ, about the beginning of Christianity, were taken out. And that's what made me even become more interested in Islam, because I thought, it's okay, so they're telling you that Christianity is the truth when really it's been changed. The words in the Bible were changed, and that in the Quran it has never been changed. And what we read now is what was written in the beginning. So that's really helped me to begin to read it more in depth. Then I came across my friend Medhat, was engaged to another American who was studying Islam at the same time, my good friend Michelle, and she was slightly more read in Islam than I was. So she told me some sources, she told me what to look for, and so we became very good friends, and we started our journey more or less together. And then I had the opportunity to go with her to Egypt. And I was working one day, and in the beginning I thought, I mean, that's kind of a big trip, and I never really considered I would go there in this manner, but I went, and with her. But one day when I was leaving work, I kind of had, it was like a vision. I saw like the sun in back of the pyramids.
When were you when you saw this vision?
I was in my car, I remember.
You were in your
And then
You were driving?
Yeah, and then I stopped because I thought, am I seeing things? What's wrong? and then I thought that was kind of like my first step. And then so I was able to go to Egypt. It took me a while to get there, but I did. I got my passport, a new passport. I got my ticket, and she was already there. And then I went, and she met me there. And I just wanted to see how it was. I mean, okay, yes. Okay, so we hear about the 5 prayers here and everything else, and I wanted to see it in action, I guess. And so I was able to experience many different things there. The way of life, religious way of life as well. I mean, I still dressed. I was beginning to change in my dress. I wore long skirts, more or less, long sleeves. I did not wear the scarf for maybe 2 years after that. But I was, because in this country, it's a big step.
Yeah.
And it's not easy. And there was a lot of things that I guess I thought were going to prevent me from doing that. But then I had kind of a big thing happen to me in my life, which kind of, I thought, well, I was going to wear it anyway, and so why not just try it? And, it is true, you'll never be ready for it until you do it. And then you learn a lot of things about yourself, you learn a lot of things about other people, about your culture, and, what it's like to kind of live between both worlds. And, in this country, it is different. It is different. But I thought that the way of life is not bad. I mean, it teaches you many things, many things. I mean, I was, some people said, but how brave you were. And I thought, I didn't really think I was being brave. I just thought that it was something that I had to do. So I never really, some things I didn't think twice about. And then my clothing style even changed even more. And then I started to wear the scarf, and it was an experience. It was an experience. And a lot of people did not like it, but it's okay. I mean, it's okay. I mean, they have a right to their opinion, but so do I. And so that's what made me continue on. So actually it was more like a step-by-step thing, a step-by-step thing. And it's been an interesting journey.
Yeah.
So I would say.
Yeah. So you said you lived in Egypt for a couple of years.
I stayed in Egypt, yeah. But like I would take like long vacations, because I would save up like all my days, and so then I would go like for an entire summer. It was great, and then I would come back and.
So you during all this time, were you with your friend?
Okay, she came back, and I attended their wedding. It was lovely, and then, well, that kind of had happened before a lot of this stuff did. But then she came back, and so I was invited to go back again, and I did, and so I still see that family. A lot of them are here now, and those kids are grown now, and they live in Connecticut, and I spend one of my Eids with them every year, and it was very good. I mean, I learned about the culture and the food and the way of life. And I mean, in some ways it is entirely different. In other ways it is just the same. It's just a life.
Yeah.
It's just a different way of life.
Yeah.
That's all.
Human being.
That's right.
At the end, all the same.
And that's our blood is still red.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Same fears, same wishes, just presenting themselves in different forms.
Everybody is a person, and we all pretty much would desire the same things.
Yeah.
So in some ways there is no difference, but sometimes the way that they see things entirely different than how an American would see it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think probably one of the biggest differences that I still see it with a lot of my friends. An American is basically an individual, and we have individual thoughts, and we're proud of those individual thoughts, and we usually act on them. But in that part of the world, mostly it's like, what I would call, collective thinking, where they all think in the same manner. They all do it in this. I mean, sometimes they go like 6 or 8 people at one time. And in American, you just do it by yourself. You don't have this. I don't need a group to do this. It's just me.
Yeah.
It's just me. And But I guess that's probably one of the big differences, and probably one of the hardest ones for an American to really understand. Why do they do it like that? Anyways,
What were they doing together that you were having a hard time to understand?
just about everything. If they go to the store, they go together. If they buy something, have an opinion. I don't care what your opinion is. I'm going to get what I like, and that's because that's, in some ways, it's who I am, and in other ways, it's just I'm an American, and why not? I don't need your opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then again, I don't really need your opinion to survive. I just live my life. That's the truth.
Or do this, or buy this,
Yeah,
don't
that's
buy
right.
this.
It's
Like
just
a very, maybe inclusive in the way you
That's
try
right.
to live your own life.
That's right. I just
Yeah.
live my life like I live my life.
Yeah.
That's all.
Were there things that you liked about in this communal living in Egypt?
I like that everybody appears to be friends. It's the truth. And the family unit was extremely strong. My background is European, so I related to it in probably the same way because, we Europeans tend to stick together. We're very proud of our culture, as they are. As, say, maybe like the Egyptians or the Middle Easterners are. And so I like that very, very much. And it was really quite comfortable, and they would include you in most things, even if you did not truly understand. But after time, you begin to understand this is their life. And this is, part of it. So, and the things that I wasn't so fond of, you just learned, well, it's just how they live their life. It's okay.
Yeah. Sometimes, especially in this day and age, people started to having these discussions that this European individualistic culture dominant countries are making people lonely versus this collective living. The community-based countries are just including people. They don't leave anyone behind. What do you think about this? Do you think like that there should be a balance in between? Like, do you think there might be or there can be a balance in which you can be both individual part of a community in which you are included, also you include others as you are included? Or do you have a preference between them?
I think they're so used to being surrounded by everybody. If it's not their family, then it's your friends. If it's not your friends, it's your work. And there's like, a community in wherever you go here. I'm not saying that doesn't happen here, but we can adjust to being alone in some ways better than they do, I think. And
I see.
Yes, and that's what I saw.
I see. Would you wish the community in America, in where you live, to be more connected to each other, or you think it's good this way?
I would say that being alone, yes, does has its uses, but I think that this day and age, there's a lot of lonely people out there, and they don't know how to form relationships, being connected with other people, and I think they would benefit from having a larger community around them. But a lot of people, they just don't know how to do that. They don't know how to form those relationships, those bonds, I think.
You mentioned that there were certain things that has changed in the Bible. Did you get to know what those things were?
I think that in the Bible, it seems like, okay, yes, every part of the Bible has a story, is part of a story, but sometimes you realize that, or that you find out that wasn't exactly the end of that story, and other things happened. I mean, I was greatly interested about in how Christ lived, I think, and I think that we don't know everything about him. I think that they make up things about him. I think that they take that to be the whole truth and nothing but the truth. But I don't see it like that, and so yes, it helped me to explore that more. Now there is a lot more. Well, there's been a lot more research in that done, and what happened then was true. Yes, it probably was the beginning of the story, but the end of it was not quite the same as what we understand it to be now. So I guess that was part of my own research, was realizing that there's some things that are the same because it's both faith-based. Both Islam is, and so is Christianity. So you have to. There's some things that are exactly the same. If you read about Sayyidina Maryam in the Bible and you read about her in the Quran, it is almost the same thing. So that was one story that I thought, this is the truth, because it's the same story.
Yeah.
You know, how we view the end of it may be a little different, but it's the same story.
Yeah. They are coming from the same thing.
Yes,
actually.
they are. They are, you know, and sometimes, they try to stress that, oh, it's not the same. It is the same. It is the same, because the God is the same.
Yeah. Are there things in your life that you say you wish you would have done differently, or are there things that you advise us to do?
There have been times in my life when I have thought that I wish that I was raised as a Muslim, for sure. What is written for us usually is different. So, I mean, I see that the way that I learned things, sometimes very difficult things, was what God wanted me to learn in that particular way. So yeah, there were some things that were different. I wish that they were different, but they are what they are. And I have learned so much by my experiences, by patience, I had an imam once who would say to us, his faith community, if you want something and if you need to ask a million times, ask a million times. And sometimes it does happen, and other times it's not meant for you. But you learn that in your life, and sometimes the things that you think, if it was taken away, God teaches you in a way that you will understand. And it's not harmful for you, but you think this is the only thing that's going to make you happy. This is the only thing that I can live with. And then you realize, after all is said and done, it was never meant to be that way in the first place. And so I think that acceptance is the first part, and contentment is the last part. You have to learn to accept it. It's some of the things that were taken away from me was a blessing to me. Was a blessing. In the beginning, I thought, I don't want this. I don't like it. I'm not comfortable. But it was much better, because Allah knows what you know not, and that's the truth.
Allah knows and you do not.
And we don't know, and we don't know. That's the truth.
If you were to give 3 advices to your grandchildren, you can consider me as a friend and grandchild.
Okay.
Because I see you as a friend and also as a family.
Oh, sweetie, that's so nice.
If you were to give me 3 advices, and if you were to say stick with them and in your life make them established and let them guide you, what those 3 things would be?
Don't forget your prayers. If Allah asks you to do something, do it. If He says don't do it, don't do it. I would say, and be kind to everyone, even if it's a hard thing, or sometimes people say things or do things or act out things that you think are unkind. Be kind anyways. And I say that to myself as well, because I'm not the best at least at the last thing that I said, because I have a hard time sometimes with it. But those are 3 things.
Is it pray first, second?
If Allah asks you to do something, do it. If He says,
how do you know He says something?
If you see it, I have had experiences when you're reading the Quran and you think that what is written is directly aimed at you, that's how I know. That's how I know he means me. And that's what I.
How do you know? Like, is that your heart that knows that's coming to you, or is it a general understanding
I
that?
think it's a combination of my mind and my heart together that means he means me. He means me. I mean, sometimes I have a very difficult time letting go of things. It just said, don't feel bad about things that have, like, passed you by. They were meant to pass you by. I mean, it doesn't say that exactly, but my feeling is don't waste your time on things that, like, you think were taken away from you because they were meant to be taken away from you. And don't waste your time in wishing that this had happened or that had happened, because it's not good for you, or it's not meant for you. So don't waste your time thinking about that. I was looking for something about forgiveness, and I don't know where it was in the Quran, but I read this passage that was like, he forgives all things. And so I thought, and every person. And also you say that it's the prayer of Yunus. Oh God.
I hurt myself, forgive me.
Verily, I am from those
Who have been unjust to themselves, something
who
like
have been unjust or unfair to themselves.
yeah.
That's a good example. Anyways.
And the last one was be kind to everyone, no matter what.
As an American, a lot of people, they've never met a Muslim. For sure, they've never met an American Muslim. So I have found that just be who you are, and try to be mindful of other people, because they struggle sometimes harder than you do. And sometimes just a smile or a word or just being around them sometimes will help them. And so, kindness comes in many forms, many forms.
Yeah, that's very true. Beautifully said. Can you share a moment in which you felt so close to God?
One time, when I was in Egypt, someone did something to me which was kind of hurtful. And I remember that a long time ago, I had done the same thing, perhaps in a different way, but I did the same thing. And I thought how merciful Allah was to teach me in a way that I would never do that again to someone else. And I felt very blessed that I had learned that lesson and that I felt very close to him. Maybe 10 years ago, maybe almost 11 years ago now, my program that I was teaching in closed, and I did not have a job. And about 2 weeks later, I found that I had to go into the hospital. And I was worried about the bill, and that I was sick, and that I didn't know what I had, and how was I going to pay for this bill. And Allah found a way for me. And I thought of his mercy, about his unending mercy. And I mean, my dad has always told us, God will make a way for you where you think there is no way. He will find a way for you in whatever situation that you find yourself. And it's true. And I just thought how merciful he really is. And I was literally making myself sick because I was worried about the bill. Not that I had been sick, but about paying that bill. And it was paid. And from a source where I never thought it would come from. I was amazed.
Wow. So he has everything under control.
Everything. I mean, yeah. Sometimes in little and big ways, like, okay, in your daily life, you forget where you put stuff and you walk around your house saying, what did I do with this? And then it just appears. And it's there. And sometimes, like when you drive, and, there's a lot of crazy people on the road, and some of them, I mean, a lot of accidents were like near-miss accidents, where if it had been a second later or earlier, there would have been an accident, and there wasn't an accident. So that's another way. Or just getting through your life every day sometimes is a huge challenge. But if you just breathe and, Sometimes I begin at least the work portion of my day. I begin my work with the name of God. His name is so auspicious that no harm could befall the person in the earth and the heavens. And that's how I begin my work sometimes, because you don't think you're going to be able to do it, and you do it. I know my friend Sandy, and Sandy is my oldest friend. She's like 86, but she always tells me, "You're really one of a kind. You're different than a lot of people." I said, "Yeah, I know. I know I'm different, honey.
MashaAllah.
I've known my whole life I'm different." Some people don't get me, but it's okay. It's all right.
I'm glad that you see yourself as a different person in the world. I think it brings about its own advantages, which is connecting yourself to God in a unique way, because there is nobody like you on the earth, and that it's only you who can bring what he means you to bring to the earth. And when you know this, you know your own value. You are valuable because it was not your decision to exist. Somebody gave you existence, and you have to respect that. You value yourself not for the sake of your own self-existence.
All right, I know what you mean.
It's because of the decision that has been made in God's reality that he wanted you to exist on the earth. And I think it's powerful, and we just have to respect this fact, and we value ourselves just because of this. And I think when you see yourself as a different person from this point of view, it is very fundamentally essential in one's worldview.
That's a good way to view it. You are a very special person, by the way.
Thank you.
You are, truly.
Thank you.
You're
so
sweet,
much.
sweet girl.
Alhamdulillah. What has been your greatest struggle in life?
In all honesty, finding a mate, I think. Yes, I've had other struggles, but that one is, some people, as yourself, you found your right mate, the right person, the right time, and in the right way. And that's alhamdulillah for that. I'm so grateful for that, because you guys are such a good match, But I have not found that mate yet. That's probably my biggest struggle. But yet, because I am reluctant to fall into the wrong relationship, sometimes I won't even try, because I'm not going to put myself in that position again, I guess.
Maybe, okay, this is the last question. What do you think Christians and Muslims misunderstand about each other?
Most Christians, I can't say everyone, but most Christians view Christ as God. A Muslim does not view Christ or anybody else as God. They forget that, yes, he was God, or they think he was God, astaghfirullah, but that also he was a person. And so if you're going to look at his life, okay, look at what it says about him. When he was angry because he thought that the Jewish hierarchy was using their sale of animals to use as sacrifices, and he thought that they had made it like that was the only thing, was to get money, and in the way that they were going to get money, and that he was angry. Now, conversely, we're also taught what a mild person he was, but he was angry, and he was gentle, as every person is. We all have, our angry side when we're not in a good place, and we also have a very gentle, soft side, I hope. And I think, and they view him as that, where a Muslim would look at, he's not God, he was a man, and so is our prophet, and that's they have. They just can't seem to get beyond the point, and that's what. I have very good friends. My good friend Sandy, she's very staunch Catholic, but there's some things we will never agree on. But yet I respect her so much, and she respects me. And she says, because you say what you believe. I said, that's right. And she says what she believes, and I respect her for it, but we can't. There's some days where we can't really talk about that calmly. But it's okay. It's okay. That's what I think, that they have a really hard time. Also, it is kind of like in in arrogance, well, I know better than you, and the other side says, no, I know better than you. So it's, you know, it's not easy. It's not easy.
Yeah. Okay, I think these were my questions. Is there any other things that you would like to talk about?
No.
Particularly?
That's it.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for asking me. I hope this goes well.
Inshallah.